So this is part 2. So this is where we're starting, we're picking up from Friday what we talked about with the parallel and perpendicular lines, all right? So I need you to write down this definition. Corresponding angles occur when 2 points are located at the same position on 2 different parallel lines. They are always congruent, so they will have the same measure. Go ahead and copy these 2 diagrams down and the definition. Okay, so the figure on the left, all right, there's one big problem here, okay? And this is why I cannot have corresponding angles here. My 2 lines are not parallel. If they're not parallel, then my angles will not have the same measure. So look at angles 1 and 2 with me, okay? Angle 1, I could estimate to be what type of angle? Acute, obtuse, right? What do you think? Right. Obtuse. It would be an obtuse angle because it does extend past that 90-degree point. But what about angle 2? What type of angle? It's an acute angle. So just by estimating, I can tell that these angles do not have the same measure. So that brings me to diagram number 2. I can only have corresponding angles, meaning angles with the same measure at 2 different locations, if my lines are actually parallel. Okay? So let's look at angle 2 for a second. Angle 2. Notice that it's located in the top right part of this intersection. So I'm going to look for the same location in the other intersection where the parallel line or the other parallel line intersects. And angle 6 is in the same location. So I would say that angles 2 and 6 are corresponding. What does that mean? That means if angle 2 is 85 degrees, angle 6 will also be 85 degrees. If they're corresponding, they will have the same measure. All right? So let me ask you this. What is the corresponding angle to angle 1?
85.
Angle 5. Very good. Because it's in the same location at the other intersection. What about angle 3?
7.
Angle 7. It's in the same location on the other intersecting point. And then last but not least, what about angle 4? Angle 8. So you see, corresponding angles they only occur when we have parallel lines, and they're located at the same position on both lines. All right, now let's use these angles to review. Give me a pair of adjacent angles, adjacent supplementary angles. Give me one pair. Kathy?
1, 3, 5, 7.
Hold on. No. Give me a pair of adjacent supplementary angles. Tyrese?
1, 8.
No. Adjacent, guys. Christian? 2 and 3. Very good. They share a common side and vertex. These are adjacent supplementary. Give me another pair, Marissa. 1 and 4. Thad?
6 and 7.
6 and 7. Javon? 5 and 8. Andrew? 1 and 2. Logan?
8 and 7.
8 and 7. JT?
5 and 6.
5 and 6. And Noah?
3 and 4.
3 and 4. So I can look at the adjacent supplementary angles on this same diagram. What about vertical angles? What about vertical angles? Do you see a pair of vertical angles here? Kathy?
2 and 4.
Very good. 2 and 4. They are opposite each other, which means that they will be congruent in measure. Josiah?
1 and 3.
1 and 3. Anybody see another pair? I think it's starting to click. Caitlin? 5 and 7. Xavier? 6 and 8. So you see, they are all related in some way. All right, so whenever you're looking at finding unknown measurements, ask yourself, am I looking at corresponding angles located in the same position on both intersections? Am I looking at adjacent supplementary angles? Or am I looking at vertical angles? Now let me ask you this. If the measure of angle 4 is 68 degrees. Obviously, the picture isn't drawn to scale. Say it was 68 degrees. What would be the measure of angle 6 and why? What would be the measure of angle 6 and why? I'll give you a second to think about this. We'll pause it and come back. All right, what do you think, Josh?
68 degrees.
Why?
Because 4 and 8 are parallel, and then if you,
Hold on, they're not parallel. They are, starts with a C, they are congruent, but why? What types of angles are 4 and 8?
They are right.
No? What are they, Kathy?
They're corresponding.
They're corresponding angles, which means that they will be congruent, and then
Then you do the vertical thing.
very good. And 8 and 6 are vertical. All right, so you see how we used vertical and corresponding angles to find the unknown measurement. If you can tell me why, then you'll get this right every time. Okay, so try to figure out what types of angles you're looking at. All right, now one more slide here. Oops. In example 3, I'm looking at maps. Okay, so I want you to take a minute to go ahead and copy down this map, and then we'll answer some questions. All right, so give me 2 streets that are parallel. Give me 2 streets that are parallel. Raise your hand and tell me 2 streets that are parallel. Logan?
Park Avenue and 7th.
Okay, Park Avenue and 7th Avenue. What are 2 other streets that are parallel that you could have put? Galen?
34th.
Okay, 34th and 23rd. What about 2 streets that intersect? Tyrese?
34th Street, Park Ave.
All right, 34th and Park. That actually forms perpendicular lines. Josiah? Another intersecting street? Broadway and? Very good. Broadway intersects 34th and 23rd Street. And then another intersection, Josh?
7th and 23rd.
Very good. 7th and 23rd. So the first part is just reading the map and recognizing parallel and perpendicular streets, lines, basically. All right? Now, let's look at B. And this is going to be more similar to what you'll see on a quiz. Given that the measure of angle 7 is 68 degrees, what is the measure of angle 1? I'll give everybody a minute to solve this.
There's an angle 1.
All right, Christian, Kennedy, what do you think? Okay, you think angle 1 is 68 degrees. Why? They are not corresponding. Kathy?
They are,
Based on what we've learned today, okay, the 3 types of angles, angles 1 and 7 are none of them. All right? But how did I come to figure out that angle 1 was 68 degrees? Because it is the right answer. Janice?
because it's,
How can I connect them together? Andrew? Very good. Very good. Okay, that's one way I can make the connection. The corresponding angle to 7 is 3, and that's 68 degrees because they're corresponding. And then the vertical angle would be angle 1. Or I could have said 5 and 7 are vertical, and then 1 and 5 are corresponding, so angle 1 would be 68 degrees. Now let me ask you this. What would the measure of angle 4 be? What would the measure of angle 4 be, and why?
If what?
What would the measure of angle 4 be, and why? What do you think, Thad?
68?
Nope.
No, I got it.
Josiah?
The, it's like, 112 or 12.
112. Why would it be 112 degrees?
180 minus 68.
Why'd you subtract it from 180?
Because it's
Because they are supplementary, okay? So 1 and 4 are supplementary, so I know that it's 112. What about angle 2? What would be the measure of angle 2 and why?
12.
Marissa?
112 because 4 and 2 are vertical.
Vertical. Very good. All right. What would be the measure of angle 6?
112
Why?
because it's 2 and 6 are corresponding.
Very good. 112 because 2 and 6 are corresponding, or because 6 and 7 are supplementary. So now I can start looking at it from a bunch of different angles. And then the last one, angle 8, would be what measure? Class? 112 degrees. Because it's vertical, or because it's supplementary, or because it's corresponding. I can look at any one of those perspectives. All right? And if you understand that, that is everything you need to know for 10.2.